Welcome to Get Inspired and Live in Your Power, the podcast where I interview successful entrepreneurs who took action on one inspired thought that changed everything. Every episode is an exciting story of life-altering transformation. I'm your host, Wylene Benson. Just like my guests, you have access to the same divine inspiration that became their catalyst to success. Whether you're a six-figure business owner, mentor, or author, there's something here for everyone. It's time to get inspired. Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Get Inspired and Live in Your Power. And as always, I have another amazing guest on our show today, Cheri Salazar. Thank you for joining us, Cheri.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, you are welcome. And I'm super excited to have Cheri on our call today. She's actually one of my clients, and we've been working together for what? I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years.
Been about 4 years, I think.
Yeah, I know we started working together when I did the Lord's Way to Wealth Mastermind. I think that was the first thing that you jumped on board with. Actually, you attended a class that I did in my house on teaching people how to do a daily GPS. I remember that. That was the very first thing that you participated in, and that was amazing. Yeah, and I know that being a part of that Lord's Way to Wealth Mastermind was really instrumental in helping you to open up your mind to bringing your purpose in with your business. That was kind of like a first step, wasn't it?
Yes, definitely. It really made a huge impact and changed the direction of my life.
Wow. I hadn't thought about that for a long time. And I know I haven't even introduced you, but that thought occurred to me that long ago, we were opening the doors and paving the way for the person that you've become today. This is so cool. Let me go ahead and share a little bit about Cheri so that you all can get to know her as well. Cheri Salazar is a highly successful real estate professional and business owner who has been making a positive impact in her community and in the real estate industry. She has tasked herself with changing the definition of real estate agent to be more service-oriented and empowering individuals and communities to create a better life and future for themselves with investments and enhance their quality of life. And real estate is just a part of that. She says it's different for every person, and we work with each person to find the perfect fit to build your future and quality of life. She's truly a unique asset to the real estate community. And I just want to interrupt there. There's a little bit more that I want to share about Cheri, but I just want to kind of take a little side note here. My connotation of real estate agent, it's so funny to me. It's so interesting to me. And I might offend some people that are listening here today, that people that I know, when they get their real estate license, all of a sudden it's like they know everything. They're like so much better than me because they have their real estate license. I don't know if you've experienced that or anybody else, if you're listening and you've experienced that, that's just kind of my experience of real estate agents. But I have not noticed that about Cheri. I knew her before she was a real estate agent. I've known her after she got a real estate license, and I know her now as she's a real estate broker, and she is the same person. She is the same wonderful person that I've always known. So she really is taking the real estate industry by storm and creating a totally new connotation of what a real estate agent means, in my mind at least, and hopefully in lots of other people's minds as she keeps doing her awesome work. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on with introducing Cheri. As the owner of Remax Lighthouse, she is responsible for leading a team of dedicated professionals who are committed to providing exceptional service to clients. She grew up in Utah. Cheri's developed a really deep appreciation for the area's unique culture and beautiful landscapes, which ultimately drove her to pursue a career in real estate. And after earning her license, she quickly gained a reputation for her expertise, professionalism, and unwavering commitment to helping others. And overall, Cheri is an accomplished professional and an inspirational leader who is dedicated to excellence, integrity, and putting her clients on a path to a brighter future. In addition to her professional life, Cheri is a wife and a mom of 5 children, and she loves spending time with her family. So that's, in a nutshell, that is Cheri Salazar. So welcome again. Thank you, Cheri, for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just super excited to have you on the show. I know a little bit about your history because we worked together for so long. I know there were some pivotal moments, and this show is all about get inspired and live in your power. And I know you have been really good at asking for inspiration and then taking action. Like I said, you and I started working together in the very beginning, just learning about daily GPS, and you totally embraced that process of daily GPS and asking for your inspired shortcuts every day. Do you want to talk a little bit before we kind of jump into like your pivotal moments? Maybe talk a little bit about the process that it has taken you from before you knew me, before you knew about daily GPS, and then kind of that transition into asking for inspiration and guidance. Just take us on that journey of kind of where you were and how you got to where you are today.
Life's full of ups and downs, right?
Yes.
And my life is no exception. We've been kind of up and down and up and down and up and down in our lives. And my journey was kind of fragmented, I guess I would say. So as I went through life, and I would experience points where, oh no, everything's falling apart, we're in trouble, I don't know how we're going to get through this. And that's when I would take my life in turn and really fervently start praying, and this is what I need, help me, help me, help me. And then when things would turn around, I would maybe get a little lazy with that, I would say. A lot like in the scriptures, when we read the scriptures, there's the people who go through, oh, hey, life's great. And then they forget about God. They forget about doing the things that they're supposed to do. And, really making sure that he receives that gratitude and thanks for everything. And my life was kind of similar to that, I think. So I would go through ups and downs, and I would be up and down with my commitment, as far as my commitment to God and to figuring that out. But when I met you and you introduced the daily GPS, it actually was at a church activity that you first introduced it. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. I want to learn more. That's when I started talking to you about it. And we went to your house and did the whole process and learned everything. And that really made a huge impact to me. It was like, this is what I've been missing in my life. This is what I've been needing to continue. And I wasn't in a downtime. I wasn't in a bad time. It was okay, yeah, everything's just flowing. Everything's good. But I recognized that I was missing something in my life, that I needed more. And so that's where the daily GPS jumped in. And I was like, this is exactly what I should be doing every single day in order to know what my future holds and how to move myself forward in a better way. I knew that I wasn't enough yet, but that I could be. And that's what I was aiming for. So just getting that program involved in my life really changed the trajectory of me being able to focus on, am I just being me and going along for the ride, or am I following a purpose, something that really drives me and gives me the direction that I needed in my life in how to pursue our future and to make it better.
Wow,
So
beautiful. I just want to touch on something and clarify this and see if this is what you're saying, because I know me personally, and I'm sure all of our listeners have at some point had that situation where they're feeling their life is a little bit fragmented. And when I think about fragmented, I'm thinking about like being spread really thin too. It's like you're trying to put yourself over here, and then somebody calls you to do this, and then you have this fire over here that you need to put out. And it's just like you're kind of running from one thing to the next, and you don't really feel any cohesiveness to like a path. The other thought, thinking about being fragmented, it's inconsistent. There's no like rhyme or reason. You're just not really seeing a flow, not feeling like easy flow or consistency in your life. Does that kind of describe what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. And especially the life didn't feel connected in a lot of ways. And this is the way I think a lot of people view their lives. I have my religious life, I have my work life, I have my family life, I have my social life. And are they all you? Are they all part of what you're supposed to become? Are they working together to get you there? And I think that was where this started bringing all of that together. Instead of being fragmented into so many different areas, it gave me direction and cohesiveness on everything in my life. It pulls everything together and makes you whole in a way.
Wow, I couldn't have said it better myself. I feel the same way about that daily GPS process. And I've been doing it for over 10 years. And it really has created that cohesiveness in my life where all things are working towards, it's like all things are coming together for that higher purpose. Your social life, your family life, your business life, your everything is all part of that cohesive whole. I love what you're saying. And so it sounds to me like the fragmentedness, kind of the inconsistency, was brought together with the daily GPS process. So having the consistency of a process that you did in the morning to, help you stay connected and whole was what really made the change in your life. Is that right?
Yes, that plus
Okay.
the mastermind group that I joined after that. But that was the beginning of it. It really started bringing everything together and making it feel like I am this whole person that can move together forward in my whole life.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. So the daily GPS process, if you haven't heard of it, I mean, I mention it every once in a while, so you probably know about it. But if not, you can always check in the description. I always have it at the very bottom. There's a starter kit. It's totally free for you to find out about that and get started. And like what Cheri was saying, that was kind of the tipping point, right? That was the tip of the iceberg. It was just like, here's something that I feel like I can create some consistency in my life. But then it was the mastermind afterwards that really helped to maintain that growth and learning and understanding and actually seeing things in a different light. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. It's really cool. I was just meeting with one of my mentors yesterday, and I realized that before I started meeting with him, and he's very wealthy, he's a multimillionaire. I love meeting with him because I just feel like I can give myself permission to be in that higher space of wealth and philanthropy. You become like the 5 people that you hang around, that you surround yourself with. And that's why these masterminds are so amazing. I had been around someone who had a very scarcity mindset. A lot of the decisions that this person made in their life was inconsistent with that place of being in flow, of not being fragmented. This person was very fragmented. And I spent quite a bit of time with that person. And then I realized what it was actually doing to me. I mean, I see myself as a really strong person and that my beliefs and my thoughts aligned and everything. But I realized after I made the decision to end that relationship that I had changed. The person that I was had actually become a lot more fragmented, and I had a lot more lower beliefs about myself just because of hanging around that person. Could you maybe talk just a little bit more about that? And I know you are actually creating your own sort of mastermind experiences for your agents that are in your brokerage, and even trying to develop these things for community. So talk a little bit about that, the power of surrounding yourself with really great people.
Well, I could give you an example of when I didn't. When I was in a place that we lived at one point where I felt it was very toxic and it was all about, I want to be better than everybody else, was the attitude and the mentality that I seemed to be surrounded with. And I didn't fit into that environment because that wasn't who I was. And because of that, I didn't fit in with the people, and the people in turn did not treat me very kindly. So I recognized later that I had built this nice wall around myself that was, I cannot let people in. I can't open up. I can't let myself be me because somebody's going to judge me on it. Somebody's going to hate me on it. It's going to be a problem for me. I basically turned into a person who wanted to hide in the corner and not talk to people, not allow people into my life. So taking this step to actually talk to you about this at one point was a big step for me because I was uncomfortable with that. But I knew that I wasn't being me. It wasn't right. So being part of that group just showed me that other people have struggles. They have other things that they're dealing with in their lives, and we could all come together and talk about it. We can make a difference for each other and really help each other. That's what I'm creating in my mastermind group right now too. It's actually a female agent mastermind group so that women can in our industry can come together and really make a difference for each other, help each other, support each other, open up. I mean, we've had some really great, we've only had a few meetings so far, but they have been so powerful. And the people come in and we've had some tears shed. We've had some real eye-opening experiences already. Just being able to be a part of something that you feel makes a difference for you, that really people care about you. They want to see you succeed. They want to help you. That's where the power comes in, I think.
Wow, awesome. As you're talking, I'm just jotting down a couple notes because I'm smiling, really big because you are such a community builder, aren't you? I mean, you know it about yourself now, but back then you had built a wall around yourself. And it's so interesting how we turn on ourselves. We really do shut ourselves off from our own gifts, from our own spiritual gifts, from our own higher power. We shut ourselves away from the world. And this is definitely a gift that you have, is bringing people together in community. It's just kind of a testament to being in the right place, creating your own space where you can thrive. And if the place that you're in is not, if you're not a fit, don't turn on yourself and say, oh, I'm not like everybody else. There's something wrong with me. Say, wow, there is something wrong here, definitely. And I need to go find a different community, a different place where I can really thrive. So you've created your own community. And it's interesting that you said that you were in this place where people were like, wanted to be better than. I mean, that ego can really get in the way. And it is, I think it's interesting that I mentioned at the very beginning, sometimes I feel that, from real estate agents in general, is that when they get that name, that title behind their name of real estate agent, then all of a sudden they feel like they're better than everyone. And like I said, no offense intended, but I have known some people like that. When we separate ourselves thinking that we're better than, or even thinking that we're worse than, because we're still separating ourselves, we're still judging other people, we're still comparing ourselves. If we think that they're better than us, then we shut off all opportunity for mastermind. We shut off all opportunity for community when we separate ourselves. So, that's the biggest thing to really thrive in a community and to lift each other, is to see everybody as the same. It's like, we're all the same. We're all just trying to be our best. Cool.
Yeah. Removing the judgment is a big part of that. Just removing anything that makes you think differently about anyone else beyond yourself, whether it be a positive or a negative. Just looking at people as who they really are, as children of God, people who want to, they're doing what they can to try and make a best of life too. And we can all help each other.
Beautiful. And I think that's why you do such a good job with your clients, because you're not going at it as, I know more than my clients. It's like, let me find out about my clients so that I can put myself in their shoes and how I can, have them have the best experience. Awesome. I know you shared with me there were a couple of pivotal points that have really brought you to where you are today. So you started out with that daily GPS, you got involved in a mastermind where you started opening your mind and your heart to being part of something and part of a group that was a little more empowering. And then there came a pivotal moment when you knew that the place where you were at was not enough. I know you shared that you had just started in your real estate business, and that first 6 months, you were not really moving forward. Tell us about kind of that first 6 months and then what made the change, what made the shift.
For me, the first 6 months of real estate was me trying to figure it out, trying to figure out what in the world am I doing? How does this even work? I didn't have a great mentor or somebody that was showing me step by step how to do everything. And that was probably actually good for me because I learned it on my own and I learned how to do it the right way. But what happened was after I had been spinning my wheels for about 6 months, hadn't gotten any business, I had been spending money on lead generation, buying program, trying to figure out what does work, and nothing was working. And it was really frustrating. But we were in a Lord's Way to Wealth mastermind one day, and you said to me, well, you said to the group, and it just hit me really hard. You said that at some point in your life, and I don't know when this will happen, I don't remember your exact words, but you were, when this happens, you'll know it. But at some point, you're going to have to give something up in order to move yourself forward and in order to really make a difference. And it may be painful, and it's probably going to be very hard, and it's not going to be something that's going to be comfortable, but you will know when it is. And that moment, I knew exactly what it was right then and there. I had been working a part-time job. I was making, about $1,000 a month, but that little tiny bit of money, it was like my security blanket. I needed that. And then I was using the money at the time to pay for my lead generation. And I was like, well, I got to have my lead generation because if I don't have that, but then I had to look at it and go, well, wait a minute. Is this giving me anything at this point? No. Have I gotten any good, relevant leads over the past 6 months that I've been spending this money? No. So something's not working. And when you said that, I knew immediately I need to quit my job. I said, but if I don't have that money coming in, what's going to happen? That was my impact, my negative thinking and limiting belief there for a moment. It was, can I do that? But I said, no, I need to do it. I need to quit my job. And so immediately I went out and I turned in my notice the same day to my boss. She was not happy because it was not a position that a lot of people were fighting for. I promise you that. It was not fun. But I was like, nope, I'm done. I actually gave her a month's notice because I knew she was going to need it. And I even went and tried to help her find somebody to replace me because that's just the kind of person I am, I guess. Immediately after turning in my notice, within the next week, I had business, and I had business that was moving forward. It just came. I was like, wow, I actually have something to do in my career. This is amazing. So, like you said, it's a pivotal moment that can change your life. And my business never slowed down after that. It just kept moving forward faster and faster. I started getting more and more opportunities, and it became extremely successful, where I was able to close a lot more deals than maybe a normal realtor does in a year in the first year after that point. And it's continued on since.
Awesome. That is such a great success story. And I just want to point out, my guess is that you didn't get the business just because you had more time because you weren't working the job, right?
No, I don't think it was because of the time commitment. Honestly, my part-time job was, it took time and it was in the way, and that's for sure. But it was more of I'm acting on something, and because I'm acting on this moment, I'm going to be blessed for it.
Yes, I love that. And that's been my experience of you, Cheri, is that you are all in. It's like you're placing it all on the altar and you're expecting God to bless it and make it amazing.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes it can be a little scary, but I have learned one of the first daily GPSs, actually the very first daily GPS that I ever received, it was at that meeting at your house, was do not fear. And that was huge for me because I was so afraid of so many things. And I received that scripture that was do not fear. It said, do not fear the Babylonians whom ye fear.
Wow.
It was like, wow, okay, yes, I fear the world. I fear people. I fear so many different things. And letting go of that is not always easy, and it still creeps back in my life. But letting go of that fear, taking that step and moving forward and really just saying, no, I'm going to go all in and I'm going to do it the right way, it changes your life.
Oh, that's amazing. And you are definitely a living example of that because you gave me a second example. And it's really cool that I actually came back into your life right at the moment when you were stepping into an even bigger commitment and an even bigger, I'm all in kind of a place. So tell us about that second pivotal moment.
With my real estate, I was doing well as an agent, but I started getting this feeling that it just wasn't the right fit anymore. It just wasn't making the impact or doing what I was supposed to do. I knew there was more for me. There were some changes going on at the brokerage I was with, changes that I couldn't get on board with. They just didn't work for my personal needs. And I started thinking, what do I need to do next? What's my next step? I believe you had reached out to me about another group that I could become a part of at the similar time too. And that's when we started talking again. At that time, I was praying and looking for answers, and I realized that I needed to become a broker. And I had never, ever thought I would ever want to be a broker, honestly. I was like, that's a lot. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot on you. And I just was getting into real estate to maybe help my family get a better future, help them to get to the next step, help more people, to light their lives, to make a difference in their world. But I realized at that time that I wasn't reaching enough people, that God needed me to reach more. And I couldn't do that on my own. I'm one person. So that's where I decided, yes, I need to open my own brokerage. About a week after I decided I'm going to open my own brokerage, but I have no idea how to do it. I didn't have broker's license yet, so I had to start working on getting that. And I was like, okay, well, if I have to do this, then what? And a week later, I just got a call from Remax headquarters, and they said, hey, are you interested in opening a brokerage? And I was like, wait a minute. How did you know? I guess it was just, I felt like that was definitely divinely inspired and led, because it happened at the right time, right when I needed it.
Ignite your inner spark and start each day inspired and empowered with my daily GPS process. I'm Wylene Benson. Daily GPS is the best morning meditation and inspired vision technique that has you co-creating your life with your creator. Inspired shortcuts help you focus on the most important tasks to accomplish your goals faster, unleash your true potential, and transform your life into one that will give you ultimate success and fulfillment. Do it now. Visit WyleneBenson.com to download your free daily GPS starter kit and start living in your power today.
And I started talking to them and ultimately recognized that what they offered was going to be exactly what I needed to make a bigger impact and to make a bigger difference. So I went ahead and purchased the franchise, finished my broker licensing requirements, and opened January of this year. My office actually wasn't open until last month. It's just been this whirlwind of activity over the past year of, yes, I'm going to do this, and everything falling in place as it needed to be in order to make it happen for me. And I believe that is simply because God is directing it. He is leading me. He is saying, this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to do it. And just taking those steps and moving it forward has brought me to where I am now.
Beautiful. I'm just seeing there's kind of a step-by-step, just talking with our listeners, because this is how God helps us to step outside of our comfort zones, right? When our comfort zone, you said, you're a realtor, you're doing well, but then it just didn't feel like a right fit. And you mentioned, before that you were in a position that just didn't feel like a right fit. So if your comfort zone starts becoming uncomfortable, don't try to mold yourself around that discomfort and just be okay with it. Just know that that discomfort is inspiration telling you that you need to do something different, and just start asking for what that next step is. And it more than likely is going to be something that will take you out of that comfort zone and is not going to be super easy to accept at first. But like Cheri, taking action on that immediately. And when that opportunity came, when somebody called you, you're like, yes, because, you could have said, oh no, I'm not ready for that. I'm just barely starting to think about it. I'll call you back in a year, but the opportunity was there. And so you grab it. So take action on those opportunities. And then the follow-up is surround yourself with people that can support you. And I think that's been your key. Is when I've been inspired to contact you, it's always been perfect fit. That I wouldn't say always, there have been a couple of times that I've suggested that you participate in something that I'm doing and you're like, no, it's not right, whatever. But when it is right, and it's like, this is totally going to support because I'm in a brand new place, I have no idea what I'm doing, then saying yes, to those. I get on calls with people about, potentially joining my programs. And almost always there's this, let me think about it. I need to pray about it. I want to think about it. And then sometimes they never come back. And I'm like, I know, because I feel in my heart that it's definitely a fit. I know that they've got to be feeling that too. And some people just don't take action on it. And I'm like, okay, well, all right, you're probably going to be in the same place a year from now. So let me know.
Right. And I think that's that fear thing that comes in, and everybody has it. And I told you, I had an extreme for a long time in my life, and I had to stop. I had to break free of it in order to move forward. And now yeah, that's scary. Yeah, that's uncomfortable. And I don't know how that's going to work. But if I don't do it, then what?
Yeah.
And I have to make the change, and I have to move forward.
Right. And it's because God has more in mind for you. And so your spirit is not going to rest until you take action on that. That's great. Well, awesome. You are doing amazing things. And Cheri, I want to share with everyone how to get in touch with you, because I know you do have a local community brokerage, serves the people here in Utah County. And also, I know that you are a great mentor and leader, and you want to expand that ability to serve people to a much greater geographic area. And so whoever's listening, no matter where you're at in America, at least, maybe in the world, that if you want to have a chat with Cheri and talk to her about her masterminds, because she's seen the power of mastermind. I see her developing that for herself. And like she mentioned before, she wanted to be a real estate agent to kind of help her family have a better life. And now she's actually doing that for other people too. She's helping other people empower them to have a better life for themselves. So, if you have felt a little bit uncomfortable in your comfort zone and you're feeling like it's not a fit, you need to step out. I think Cheri would be a really great person to talk to help you be inspired of what's, how to do that. In fact, Cheri, I'm going to tell them how to get in touch with you. And then while I do that, I'm going to give you a little minute to think about it. What is a piece of advice that you could give to someone if they're feeling like the place where they're at is not a fit, that, they're in a job, or they're in a career, or they're maybe not working outside the home, but they feel like, God has something more for them, and they're not really sure what to do, or they're kind of scared. They're feeling that fear. So just a piece of advice that you could give to someone like that. And while you're thinking about that, I just want to share with you, for sure, check the show notes, because I'm going to have Cheri's email address. She's given me that to be able to share with you guys so that you can reach out to her. And she's also on social media. So just check the description for those. I'll just tell you, Cheri Salazar at remaxlighthouse.com, CheriSalazar is how you spell her name, and then at remaxlighthouse.com. And then also, she has offered very generously to do a free 1-hour consultation to help you discover your goals, your needs, your desires around building a better quality of life for yourself. So if you've really resonated with what Cheri has shared today, I encourage you to reach out to her and schedule that 1-hour consultation. That's very generous of her. And you can also go to her website, remaxlighthouse.com, for more information. And especially if you're here in Utah County, you're looking for a realtor, Cheri is amazing. And she's teaching her realtors in her brokerage to be truly amazing and really support her clients as well. Cheri, have you had a minute to think about a piece of advice you would like to share?
Sure. Let me start by just telling you the reason my company's name is Lighthouse, because that's going to go with my advice to you. My whole company and everything I have done is built around the word light. And the reason for that is because when I was doing a GPS once, when I was trying to figure out my business and how I wanted it structured, I was brought to a scripture in John chapter 1 that talked about being the light, that Christ is the light. And I have always felt like that's what we should be too, that we need to be a light for other people. We need to lead them. We need to light the way for them and help them and support them. The way a lighthouse does, it guides somebody from a dangerous situation or a risky situation. It lights them to the safe way and the right way for them to go. And that's why I named my company that. So my advice to you is to find your path, find your light, find what is within you that you are desiring to serve and to do for someone else. Get rid of the fear and go for it. Don't let anything stop you, because there is a reason you are here. There's a reason you have those desires within you. And if you can push yourself forward and make it happen, your life is going to change, and you are going to change other people's lives in the process as well.
Beautiful. Thank you. Such wonderful advice. Thank you so much for being on our show today, Cheri. And I know there's lots of people that are going to be reaching out to you. I'm super excited for them to meet you. You have been a light in my life, and I'm just super grateful to have you part of not just my business, participating in my business programs, but also having you as a wonderful neighbor is really great. So thank you.
So much.
All right. And thank you to our listeners for being here, and look forward to having you back on our next episode. And until then, go out and get inspired and live in your power. Thanks for tuning in to Get Inspired and Live in Your Power. I appreciate your support and hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please consider subscribing to the show on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Also, it would be amazing if you could take a moment to rate and review this episode, as it helps other listeners find our show. Don't forget to follow me on social media. Just search for Wylene Benson on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, or sign up for the Get Inspired Power newsletter for updates, behind the scenes content, and to join the mastermind calls with other fans of the show. If you have any feedback or suggestions for guests on future episodes, please reach out to me on my website, WyleneBenson.com. I love hearing from my listeners. Until next time, keep acting on your inspiration every day to live in your power.